Good day, everyone! Today, we're diving into the exciting world of editing, specifically for you English as a second language learners. We'll be tackling some common errors that can trip you up and give you the tools to conquer them. Okay?
Can we say just editing is like the superhero of writing?
Absolutely, Perez. Editing is like a writing superhero, saving sentences from grammatical villains.
Yeah, but what are the villains we need to watch out for?
Excellent question, Toreda. We're going to be focusing on 5 common villains that English as a second language writers often face. First up, we have subject-verb agreement. This is where the verb needs to match the subject in number, whether it's singular or plural. For example, the cat sits on the mat is correct because cat is singular and sits is the singular form of the verb. But if we have multiple cats, we need to use the plural form. Okay, the cat sit on the mat.
Okay, get it. But why is this so tricky for us ESL learners?
Great question, Perez. Many languages don't have strict subject-verb agreement rules like English does. For example, in Spanish, the verb does not change based on the subject's number. So, English as a second language learners might get confused and choose the wrong verb form in English. Let's look at an example. The student is studying for the test. This is incorrect because students is a plural. So the verb should be are, right? The correct sentence is the students are studying for the test. Okay?
So, how can we avoid making this mistake?
Great point, Reda. Here are some tips that can help. First one is read the sentence carefully. Okay, pay attention to the subject and make sure the verb matches in number. The second one is use a checklist. Create a checklist with common subject-verb agreement rules to help you remember. And lastly, practice with examples. Work through exercises with different subject-verb agreement scenarios. Okay?
I like the checklist idea. And maybe we can even create a visual aid that includes common subject-verb agreement rules and examples.
That's a fantastic idea, Perez. We can use a table with different subject-verb agreement scenarios and show the correct and incorrect forms. Okay, class, let's move on to another villain. Prepositional misuse. Prepositional are words like on, in, at, to, and from that shows the relationship between words in a sentence. They can be tricky because they often have multiple meanings and can be used in different ways. Okay, for example, class, I'm going to the store is correct, but I'm going at the store is incorrect. Okay, class?
I see. So, how can we help ESL learners understand these tricky prepositions?
Excellent question, Toreda. Okay, here are some tips that can help. Okay, first one is pay attention to the context. Okay, think about the meaning of the sentence and choose the preposition that makes the most sense. Second, use a dictionary or online resources. Look up the different meanings of prepositions and how they are used in different contexts. Okay, lastly, practice with example. Okay, work through exercises with different preposition scenarios.
I think we can create a visual aid that shows common preposition errors and their corrections.
That's a great idea, Perez. We can use a chart with examples of common preposition errors and their corrections. Okay, class. Now let's move on to another common error. Okay, this is verb tense issues. Verb tense tells us when an action happened. There are different tenses in English, such as the past tense, present tense, and future tense. Okay, English as a second language, learners may struggle with using the correct tense in their writing. Okay, for example, I went to the store yesterday is correct, but because the action happened in the past, but I go to the store yesterday is incorrect because the action happened in the past.
Oh, great! So, what can we do to help ESL learners master verb tenses?
That's a great question, Toreda. Okay, here are just some tips that can help. Okay, first is review the different verb tenses. Okay, make sure you understand the different tenses and how they are used. The second one is use time expressions. Okay, pay attention to the time expressions like yesterday, today, and tomorrow to help you to choose the correct tense. And lastly, practice with examples. Work through exercises with different verb tense scenarios. Okay?
I have an idea. What if we create a visual aid that shows the different verb tenses and their uses?
That's a great idea, Perez. Okay, we can use a timeline with the different verb tenses and examples of how they are used. Okay, now let's move on to the another common error. This is false cognates. Okay, these words that look similar in English and another language but have a different meaning. Okay, for example, actual in English is not the same as actual in Spanish. Actual in English means real or true, while actual in Spanish means current or present. Okay, this can be confusing for English as a second language learners.
How about how can we help ESL learners avoid these mistakes?
Okay, Tereda, that's a great question. Okay, here are some tips that can help. Okay, first one is beware of false cognates. Okay, learn common false cognates and their correct meanings. And next one, use a dictionary or online resources. Okay, look up the meaning of words you are unsure of. And lastly, okay, practice with examples. Okay, work through exercises with different false cognate scenarios. Okay?
I think we can create a visual aid that shows common false cognates and their correct meanings.
That's a great idea, Perez. Okay, we can use a chart with examples of common false cognates and their correct meanings. Okay, class, finally we have article misuse. Okay, articles are the words "e" and "the". They can be tricky because they have specific rules for how they are used. Okay, for example, I saw a cat. Is correct? Yes, but I saw the cat is only correct if we are talking about a specific cat.
I see. So, how can we help ESL learners understand these tricky articles?
Okay, Mr. Red, that's a great question. Okay, here's just some tips that can help. Okay, first one is to review the rules for using articles. Okay, make sure you understand when to use a and the. Okay, next one is pay attention to the context. Okay, think about the meaning of the sentence and choose article that makes the most sense. Okay, lastly is practice with examples. Okay, work through exercises with different article scenarios.
And also, I think we can create a visual aid that shows the rules for using articles and examples of how they are used.
Okay, parents, that's a great idea. Okay, we can use a chart with examples of common articles, errors, and their corrections. Okay, class. Remember, editing is a continuous process, and we encourage you to keep learning and growing as writers. Okay, we hope you found our guide helpful and engaging. Okay, good luck with your editing journey. Okay, class, now let's put these tips into practice. Okay, I've prepared some exercises for you to work on in pairs. Okay, class, did you get it? Okay. Great work, everyone. Okay, we covered a lot of ground today. Okay, and I'm so impressed with your engagement. Okay, don't forget to review the materials and practice those editing techniques. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Have a fantastic week, and I look forward to seeing you all again soon. Goodbye, class. Thank you, and to your cooperation. Bye.